Okay, so put your phone on silent. Go live. All right, another lovely time again for us to get into conversation. And like I always say, let's talk. There's so much to talk about. There's so much that we need to discuss. So let's use the opportunity that is available to us to do that, to get into that conversation, see how things go. Good afternoon. For end year, I'm in Lagos, and I know that this video will be seen from every part of the world. Right now, there's nobody hooked up to it, but as time goes, obviously, like I say, come on board from 12. We have a deal. Everybody keep their appointment. I don't think I need to be making broadcasts or announcements every day. So let's keep it going. Today, we're going to be talking about two guys that I hosted in my house. A couple of days ago, I made that announcement. I want to mentor people to talk sports the way I do via the relativity theory, and I open the doors of my house, and I really do. If you know me very well, my home is very, very private to me, and I rarely give people that chance to come into my house. We could meet social media, we could meet on other platforms, but coming into my house means that I've decided to be vulnerable. That's what it means. I've decided to give you my space. I've decided to let you know me beyond that online aggressivity, beyond that thing on radio, that people always assume that that's the person that I am. And it always make me laugh when people come up with those assumptions. But anyhow, whatever it is, it's a pleasure. Let me bring their faces to you. This is Emmanuel. Come over. Don't put the seat because you're going to be making noise.
Hello.
Can you over here yourself and stop acting like my daughter? Hello. Okay, this is one of them. I told you guys that we're going to be having the mentorship. We've had, how many hours did we do?
2 hours.
We had 2 hours of mentorship, and
now this is Shegu.
Yes, Shegu. This is Emmanuel actually. This is Shegu with his rough beards. He wants to be a rough beard band leader. I don't know, there's a beard gang and then there's a rough beard. So can you say what your experience has been for today?
It's a wonderful experience. I'm doing with the best.
I don't know about that.
Doing with the best. It's shocking in a good way. I learned a lot. I learned a lot from the best. That's what I have to say.
All right, go have your seat. What can you say about your experience for today?
Wonderful as well, lovely, and it's been a good time. Good knowledge for a few hours. I've got a lot.
2 hours is not few. Are you kidding me? 2 hours is few.
It was wonderful. Yeah, it's not few, but. Wonderful experience. I'm looking forward to it.
Don't worry, when I start charging you per minute, you know that 2 hours is very long. If you talk on your hours, don't know how much you pay.
So we look forward to more and more knowledge.
That's a full match, man.
Yeah, good. That's a full game, a full football match and 30 minutes extra. And they say it is few. It's not few actually, but basically, I also enjoyed it. I think gradually I'm gravitating towards teaching. My foundation, Ecolbit, and a few other things that I've been doing, public speaking and the rest, is making me gravitate towards teaching. But I think the greatest opportunity you have to teach is to have people who are willing to learn. And I think these two guys, Emmanuel and Shegu, have shown that they've got the willingness to learn, but do they have the endurance to run through the period? Because today we just did the basic introduction and the ideas around it, what I do and all that. As we go into the nitty-gritty of it, there is a business end of it, because it's not just to talk sports, actually. That thing I always say, my mantra: if it ain't making money, it ain't making sense. If the thing is not making money, yesterday somebody called me from Enugu, so that if you're doing this thing for free, you're not going to charge money. I said, well, if I'm going to charge them money, then these are not the people that are going to come. Honestly, what does this guy and this other guy have to pay me? But truth is, at some point, you need to know that you do some things for humanity. There is always that space to give back what is Caesar to Caesar. And I didn't grow up to become this person all by myself. Some people contributed. Some people did what they needed to do. And like I always say on this broadcast, it's not just all about talking sports alone. We could talk about life, learn some life lessons, and all that. So that's exactly what I do with this type of opportunity. When I get it, I don't take it lightly, because I think that it's not just me opening my doors to people. It's also the fact that some people trust me enough. I mean, you put out the message there, and and some people leave their house and come to your place. They don't even know if you're a serial killer or you are, not. So the fact that they trust me to come to my place is something that I'm very grateful of. I'm very thankful to my wife for allowing that to happen, and my kids for giving us the space, the peace, and the quietness to be able to do this. But I think first off, I have to thank them for coming. But that said, I think you can also join them now, because they've started today. So we have a stretch of 3 months to run this. Feel also sad. I mean, it's a sad news that my crew members didn't get their Russian visa. We're going to try and push again and see if we can get. It's going to affect our World Cup program, but let's see how it goes. Yes, there. You want to? Please help me wash inside this visitor. So it's just the way it is. I mean, I don't control issuance of visa. We have accreditation, we have everything, but it's just me. I got my visa and they don't, and it's that's a little bit sad. You look at it like, what am I going to do with that then? So let's hope that at the end of the day we can retry again and get something out of it. Well, if you've got any comment, any question to ask, I think this is the best time for you to put it on the chat box, ask questions, as regarding anything that we do here. More questions that are popping up in your head that you really want to ask. I think it will be the best time to ask the questions now while we go with the broadcast. I'm waiting. Okay, so let's take it. We're still waiting on other people to join the conversation. Like somebody told me that, I watch you every day, but I'm your secret disciple. I don't want anybody to know that I'm watching. And it's the beauty of YouTube anyway. Unlike Instagram, where anybody joins, their name will pop up. Until you chat, until you make a comment, nobody knows whether you're watching, whether you're there or not. It's just the numbers that are showing. But basically, I want to bring Emmanuel and and Shegun back again too. So can you move your seats here, man, a little bit closer, but don't drag it so that we don't make noise with the audio. I'm trying to teach these two gentlemen here that you don't need to necessarily be on the radio station. Come closer, I need to. As I'm wishing me those squeeze me to there today. You don't need to necessarily be on a radio station or a TV station to broadcast the world. The world has changed, actually. The world has changed, and people are changing every single day, and technology is making life easy. Yes, somebody will say, well, you have a good internet at home, that's why. Yeah, but I started also with the epileptic and suffering internet. Remember, if you want something so badly, you will find a way to get it done. That's what I've always believed. That's how I was raised. So I know that if anybody wants anything so badly, they will find the resources, the means. I mean, this guy came from Jegule, and he came from Yaba to Aja. So there are quite a lot of other people that I had a conversation. I think I had a conversation with about 26 people who showed up. So it means that if you want something so badly, one was even asking me if I would bring the lecture to his house. So it's and I was thinking, okay, I'll bring it to you. As you have the internet that I have, you have resources that I have in your house. But that's just it. So let me start with you, Shegun, right? You're Shegun. It's got a whole lot to go. We're just getting into the intro phase. What have you learned? Has it changed what you already know before, what you already believe about this job? Has anything just changed about being an analyst? You used to think you want to go ahead, or that's not what it?
I just want to go ahead. I had a change of perspective about the job, a few details, and then there's a visual kind of a flock outside there, as in the kind of mentality we have to about people who are on the media, both presenters, analysts, as regards certain ends what's how we perceive them to be. It's not actually what is in at the back. And then I kind of understand and have a better understanding of what it takes for one to be a great analyst. And it's not just beyond, it's not just being an analyst at the moment, it's looking ahead, looking 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. And that's been a big problem in Africa. We don't always look into the future, looking like 40, 50 years, 60 years. What happens if I die? What happens? What do we do? And I kind of be a
brand.
Yes, a brand, which I understand more to do.
Okay, let's come to Emmanuel.
So what I learned was trademark, leaving your mark in whatever you do, being an analyst. I have this mindset, okay, let's just do it. It's what you love doing. But when you leave or when you go into other things, what would you be known for? So these 2 hours has really helped me. So I'm still looking forward to more. So being an analyst, you not being a supporter of a team, that really struck me because I love a club. I won't mention, but I was always support, even in my analysis. So, but these 2 hours has really opened my mind up to various options and various knowledge about being an analyst. So it's been wonderful so far.
All right, like we had the talk during the conversation. It goes beyond just I'm a fan of this club, so my job is on air or defend them online or anytime. Being a fan is different from being an analyst. Being a fan, you have a job, a responsibility to defend your club and speak only good about them. Your responsibility now is to give an opinion and to guide and shape opinion. So you realize that at this point now, you have to extract yourself from the scene, from the picture, and see that, okay, it's not just about me anymore. This is not me anymore. This is bigger than me. This is more than me as a person. That's what we actually centered on. And with me telling them the journey, where I came from, how far I've come before I got to this place. I didn't just wake up this morning and say, okay, I want to teach people. Whoa, Maxim Bilorinitsky, all the way from Russia. Russia embassy denied my crew, 2 of my crew member visa. I have my visa, but they don't have. And that's going to be difficult for us to come to Russia for the World Cup, but I'm still working on it. So how are you? How is Russia today? You guys, it's 62 days now, 62 days before the World Cup, before June 14th, Thursday, where Russia will be playing against Saudi Arabia. And I really think that Russia is going to beat Saudi Arabia. They've not had good pre-World Cup friendly matches. They've been losing matches, but I think Russia is going to beat Saudi Arabia. But if Russia take it for granted, Saudi Arabia might just come in and shock them. Now, that's how Saudi Arabia do. They don't come to the World Cup consistently, but then they show up maybe once and then they just pull one surprise or that. Lufem's Shinkon, he said, my network is poor here, bro. Can't really enjoy your show today. Mostly the predicted games. Okay. Sorry about that one. There's nothing I can do about your network. It's just the way it is. Just enjoy it. And then let me go to UEFA. Yeah. Everybody is talking about the draws. I've been wishing for Arsenal to play against Atletico Madrid. Like, Arsenal play Madrid. Yeah. I mean, Atletico Madrid. I want to see, how do we call it now? I want to see the battle. And somebody came through. I feel very, very happy when I first saw it while we were doing a conversation. I saw it, and I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I needed. But again, it also means that it's going to be a finals before the finals. That's the truth about it. Not because I'm an Arsenal fan, but I think that if Arsenal is not careful, this is the end of the road for them. I mean, this is the end of the road for them. It just might be too, I don't know how to put it, but it just might be too difficult a task because Atletico Madrid are a very straight-jacketed team. They play in a particular way. There is a way Atletico Madrid plays. The game between Olympique Marseille and FC Strasbourg, for me, it's a 50-50 game. It looks like on paper, Olympique Marseille will go through to the finals, but then it's a 50-50 game. Anything is possible. Arsenal, Atletico Madrid, a bat on the red against the red. Somehow, The fact that Atletico Madrid have the luxury of playing the second leg at home means something might just happen. They'll come to Emirates. Emirates, it's a place where anybody can get anything. But Atletico Madrid and Arsenal, they faced each other before, and this season they've also faced an English team. Remember when they played losing 2-1 at home before the 1-1 draw against Chelsea. Remember that Arsenal too are the top scoring side in the competition with 29 goals. We've had most shots on target. Most shots in this competition, 162, and pick up more wins than any other team 8. So you look at that, you're like, okay, Arsenal just might, on the run of form. But then that's how Man City were in some top form again before they got to play Liverpool, and the whole story changed. But let's see when that happened. Now let's move over to the Champions League draws. Isn't it exciting? It looks to me like, I don't know, but Bayern Munich, Real Madrid is the finals before the finals. In my opinion, though, it's the finals before the finals. And it's just pretty much looking like there's a possibility that Liverpool will get to the finals. That is if they play as good as I expect them to play. You understand? They play as good as I expect them to play. If they take the Roma game as serious as they took the Man City game, they just might get to the finals. But Bayern, Real Madrid, I don't know what I'll say. Matthias Jacob, I say watching from Ikeja, though I can't hear because I'm in production department only watching. Oh, sorry about that one, but it's good. So what's your take, you guys? What's your take? Now, this is the first you need to show me the analyst that you were before we started. The games, Arsenal, Madrid, what's your take?
Arsenal, Madrid. For me, it's wonderful. It's going to be a tough game. But I see an open-ended game for 50-50 game. But on the contrary, I feel Arsenal have a chance because ATL have not been so fantastic that we used to know the season before, the previous seasons. So they've not necessarily been. Well, Arsenal too, they can decide to eat beans on a very good day. So
what do you mean eat beans?
They can play rubbish. Okay. So, but if Arsenal play the way they've been playing throughout the season in the Europa League, I mean, they can qualify. But if they do their usual Arsenal way, probably they'll just be out of the circle.
What about you?
These are the two teams I actually thought that are going to play the finals, but it's a massively important game for both teams. They need the trophy to salvage their respective seasons. Atletico Madrid in the La Liga and Arsenal.
What's that to salvage? If Atletico Madrid is coming second in a league that have Real Madrid, what's that to salvage?
Actually, this comes with the trophy. So both of them might need this trophy at least for their season to go well. Per se. So especially Arsenal. So they've been poor recently in the Premier League. So they really need this trophy. There's an extra incentive, the winners coming to the Champions League next season. So it's a massively important game for both teams. It's a feeling of me saying Arsenal will go through all the way.
Are you an Arsenal fan?
Not really. I'm a Liverpool fan though. So there's this feeling I have Arsenal is going to go through. I really want them to go through. And for the other fixture, I never expected Marcel to go past Leipzig, honestly. But fantastic result for them. And I really wish they get to the finals as well.
Okay, let's come to the other fixtures for you. Marcel, Salzburg. Let's not forget that Salzburg were good value for money yesterday. They tore Lazio apart. 3 goals in 4 minutes or 4 goals in 5 minutes or so was incredible as far as I'm concerned. That was football on another level. Looking at the enemies in the face and telling them that we might respect you, but here you are. We're going to give it our go. Just the same way Roma did with FC Barcelona. So, do you see Salzburg just becoming the underdog team in this competition that goes on to win it?
Yeah, they're an underdog, but I see Marseille coming out because I started watching the game. They had maybe moments in the first half.
Let's not forget, they were in the same group stage.
Yes.
They played each other in the group stage, and Austria won the first leg and drew the other leg in France.
But I feel that Marseille have the edge because they have the players. They rose to the moment yesterday. At some point it was 3-2 yesterday. but they just sort of and individual brilliant goal yesterday and something like that can change games like that. Like we saw on Sunday, Pogba just did it and it just came from nowhere. So sometimes like that, they have those guys that can rise up to the moment as regards such cases, especially in a night like that coming up in next 2 weeks. So
no, but do you think that, for me, Marseille put up a magical performance last night.
Yeah.
They've not lost in 8 games at home in this competition. Is there a chance that they've played their best? They are done with their best. Don't forget that without defeat in Austria in the UEFA Europa League, they scored 3 goals in 4 minutes and 4 seconds on Thursday to overturn Lazio's advantage. Is this not a team to be afraid of? You.
If, like you, when you were doing your analysis as regards Russia and Saudi, serious, like every other normal game, not necessarily every normal game. They take the game serious, take the game to them in the first half, probably have an away goal. That will be a massive point for them as regards the second leg, and to help them as regards qualifying to the final.
Okay, let's come back to Arsenal. Arsenal signed Aubameyang. They can't use Aubameyang in this condition. Can you help me open the kitchen door for that person? They signed Aubameyang and they can't use him because he's cup tight. And we hear that what's it called? If Liverpool go on to win the UEFA Champions League, Felipe Coutinho might just get a Champions League winner's medal, even though he's transferred to FC Barcelona. Relate that to Aubameyang being cup tied. Now that his team is still in the competition, would it not be unfair to somebody like Aubameyang, for instance, if Arsenal goes on to win the title, he doesn't get any medal, but Liverpool goes on to win the UEFA Champions League, and Felipe Coutinho gets a winner's medal?
I don't think it was down to memory lane. Remember 2006 when Arsenal bought Adebayo?
Yeah.
In January,
yeah.
He was cup tied too, and Monaco go to the final. If Monaco had won the Champions League,
I've got to
but God's going to have his way.
Oh, he's got to have his way.
Or as people will say, God of football.
Okay.
But let's say it's fair. I think FIFA now, UEFA now has started saying such issues. That's like the next thing. Like this should have been done earlier to help such situations so that nobody will have any. But at the end of the day, we all have our own opinions, and at the end of the day, you can't change his opinion.
But then, let me come to you. Does Aubameyang not playing in the Europa, has it opened the door, sort of, for somebody like Welbeck? Because since, what's it called? The other French guy, Lacazette, yeah. Lacazette was injured, he was coming back, and Arsenal had to depend on Welbeck to lead the line. And somehow Ramsey, who only know how to pick his form when his contract is getting close to the end, also has found his magical form. Do you think that the cup-tidedness of my language now, cup-tidedness of Aubameyang, has it made the door open for Welbeck?
Yeah, I think it has, and he has grasped this opportunity, in a massive way. Playing consistently has always been the joy of some players when you get this consistent run.
No, not some player, every player.
Every player, rather. So when you get consistent run of games, it gives you this confidence, and I think Welbeck in the Europa League has done massively well in all the games he's played. He's had 1 or 2 impacts in all those games, and I think if you watch closely, he's beginning to bring that form in the few Premier League games he's got into. So I think it has really, really opened the way for Dan Welbeck to stake a claim.
Okay. Let's move away from UEFA competition and let's come to Chelsea. 3 seasons ago, Chelsea won the league title, and then the following season, they wobbled and fumbled and ended up in 10th position. Mourinho got fired. The Eva Canero gate. Last season, they won the league title again, and then they will Costa SMS gate, and now see where they are. They would most likely not make it into the Champions League. They will play Europa next season, and they would also be starting with another coach again. What is the problem with Chelsea?
Well, this is a very big question, and I've been doing some form of analysis. First of all, Chelsea, when which came to London in 2003, yes, 2003.
Yeah.
after employing Laneri left, they brought Mourinho. They've tried to set a bar to win with the top clubs like Madrid, Barcelona, whereby a coach rubbish, they send him away. They said to set the bar. But in trying to set the bar, they haven't automatically gotten to that post that they can do such. Now, it is not the world is moving towards here, not necessarily because you can be a coach, you do here, you send the player away. The carcass, as a then, were part of the things that led some coaches to leave, like AVB, who brought an attacking brand of football, because of maybe he brought too much sudden change in some period of time that led to the solid players to want to stand up against him, to scholarity, because he liked an kind of Drogba. So such things, because the time for the Chelsea management to pay attention to the players now, because changing coach year after year will not necessarily, because okay, it's been working for them, they are winning trophies with it, but at some point in time, there will be a status quo that they will have to look inward rather than bringing coaches. At point in time, they might not be able to attract the elite coaches because of issues like this. They will see that, okay, after a year, I win the trophy, next year, the player can come against me. So they will be trying to keep their pedigree for me. So okay, that's why I
still want to stay with you with that your analogy. They say the carcass before now, Nicole, Belotti, what's that guy? Peter Cech, Didier Drogba, Frank Lampard, John Terry. There's this other guy. Is it Ivanovic? All of these guys have gone. Yeah. So who's the new carcass now? Because all of them, what you're saying that they should look at the players. Some are systematically, all of those cabal, the subsidy cabal, they kicked all of them out. And there's a new government, there's a change, there's a new body language, and the same problem is still happening. Is it that Chelsea has programmed for players to have players power, or actually there are some things that are happening from the management side that we always put the blame on the players?
Well, I want us to look at the bigger picture. Vidic certainly is working on his badges in England.
Yeah.
And he said something while I think it was about to graduate, or he's doing his A license now. He said that now the players are having more power,
I agree,
than the coaches. He said during his days he had the power, but he didn't use it. That's his. Whether he uses it is not necessary. Then the players, then we need to bring headphones to the training ground. I'm sorry that I'm debating a little bit.
But
I want us to understand the effect now, because now we need to look at the team might be towards sending down two certain players, because okay, Hazard now is not up to the game. So at some point in time, okay, when Mourinho left, there was a rumor that Costa said he won't score for him. Fabia said he would do an own goal, even though they denied it on air. But we look at how he has been treated. Let's look at that. Look at De Bruyne today in Man City. Is that in the interview that we did with Gary Neville?
Yeah.
He said that the difference for him was because Mourinho only spoke to him twice.
Yeah.
So, and for him, he's enjoying the time of his life. You can see what he's doing. Nobody believe that he will actually do what he's doing now. And this is not necessarily the season before. Of course, he's always been good. But the relationship between the player and the coach is a very big factor now in football. It's very big now in football. You can see what's happening in Neymar's case. In different, even Messi had issue with Luis Enrique as the Tony bus stop in the issue. So we need to look at that when Guardiola raised the ban that they should not drink Coke. Not the Pepsi in the dugout. Messi was drinking Coke. So we look at what is the effect of the player and the coach. How close are they? It's like it can be likened to a father and a child. If the father is doing here all the time, the day the child will run in from the house, it will be like a shock. So I think we need to look at the now. The management should look inward. The players, how's the relationship with the players? Are the players within themselves? Are they also creating a carcass that then the what people call ote, meaning rebellious? Are they trying to be rebellious against the manager? Or like when Guardiola came to Barcelona, there was a rebellious faction, the Ronaldinho then that said, who was this guy? He probably wasn't great as a coach. So these are the things we need to look at. Until they look at that, they will just keep running the rat race. They'll keep bringing coaches will come and go. But the problem will still be there. The problem will still be there.
Okay, let me hold you on that, sir, because it seems like if I leave you, obviously you've done a whole lot of research. I know where you're coming from, where you have a lot to talk and then there's not much time. I used to suffer that when I was in radio. I was like, what was with the commercial break? I mean, but commercial break is actually what brings money. For those of you who listen to radio and get angry with commercial break, without commercial break, they can't pay salaries, they can't pay for diesel, they can't run the station. Okay, all like what we have on YouTube we're limited by time. We will extend this by another 10 minutes today because of these two guys. Normally the show is 30 minutes, but it's going to go for 45 minutes, so we'll extend it by 15 minutes. Now there's a side I want to bring in. He just talked about the relationship. When I play football, it's strange. When I hear all these things, I people say it's strange because it seems like it's not the football that I played that they are playing now. When I played football, the coach was law. You understand? When a coach you get scared when a coach is coming. You pee on your pants. In the dressing room, I hear these days that people are even bold enough. Like when I read Zlatan Ibrahimovic's book, where he talked about how he kicked the table towards Pep Guardiola, caught somebody's eye and all that. And I'm like, wow. When I play football, you can't do that. When I play for Sharks, can't do that with Monty Sinclair. Not even with Coach Bardo. It's 4-4. 4-4, yeah. And then when I went to Europe, I played in one season, I played out 3 different coaches. In just one season, coaches were.
Honest question. When you were a player, did you feel that you had some kind of power?
No. Let me explain that part. Let me explain that part.
Sure.
Because every time I read people talk about it, they're like, okay, well, we like sheep later this. I'm a black sheep. I've been a black sheep since forever. I was raised in Warri. You understand? I was raised in Warri. And, I have this feeling that my father died pretty early, but once I had the knowledge that my father was a billionaire, I was a very rich man, I was behaving out of order. Even in the ghetto, if you go to Warri now where I grew up and ask them, they'll tell you that he always had this cocky feeling, this arrogance of I too much. So when I started playing football,
I know Tolo.
No, it wasn't about height. It wasn't about height. It was just one. They brought me from London to Warri. And and at a pretty early age, as I get on the flight flying, I was living in the ghetto. So while people were dreaming to go abroad, I was going and coming. That's one. Secondly, no, that's even the Davido time. Secondly, I went to a primary school where I was always coming first like that. So it was for me the child that felt, when get fine, you can't say fine. There's an extra swag to a step and a movement. So that was the kind of guy that I was. So when I play football, I'm not your JJ Okocha kind of. No, I'm not that good. I was a winger, but I wasn't like your Lionel Messi, your Pavel Nedved, your Roberto Baggio, your Romario. I was just 25 meters above average. But what I had was I had this personality, this belief that
he likes
Mario. Okay. So I just go with this feeling of with this feeling that you can be more talented than I am, you can be bigger than me, you can be better than me, you can have more connection than me. I will not let you walk me. So I had walk rates that my mates didn't have. So I always believe that I have this power. And then there was something I perfected quick. I was very good with free kick. Because at a pretty early age, I was told that you can only stay in a team if you're adding value. So I was very good with playing free kick, and my crosses were pretty much 90% accurate. So I knew that at one point, this team is going to need me. They're going to need me for free kick. They're going to need me to give in accurate crosses, because I was more interested in giving the final pass than scoring the goals. That was the kind of guy I had. So when it comes to power, I've always had power. Even when I was working in radio, let me tell you, if you go ask the people, there are times where I have issues with I have bust up on my managers. Now, I remember one day, one of the toughest I ever worked with was Anthony Bekanema. Because Tony Bekanema was the kind of guy that it was better than you in everything. So there is nothing you want to do that you think you're better than him. But then there are other managers in the office. There was one who have excuse for coming late all the time. They have excuse, like the waterways is blocked. This one, the road traffic is this. And me, I go through all of this too. And I remember I also worked when I was working with HITV. So when it comes up and he's late and he's trying to make one correction, I just say, hey, guy, keep your correction to yourself. If you want to correct me, first come to work early. You understand? So I always know that I have a certain amount of power. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. And when you push it further, I say, okay, don't. You understand? So I've always had power, even in playing, but I feared my coaches. I fear because the fear is this guy can decide to bet you for life. You don't have power. Like the barber, he could just give you a wrong cut.
Half a cut.
He could just give you, he could just, you will not kill him now. You just go with that head. So the coach was like the barber. People that I fear in football, I fear coaches and I fear referees. You could score a legitimate goal and referee will, it will cook up one excuse. There's something you can do. You shout too much, it gives you a red card. That has before. So, I knew I had power.
Said they shit. That's what they said. That's what they said.
I know I had power. But there was no groupings like you have now. Like, you cannot exert your own power alone. You need people to be on your side. And then you're also afraid to discuss coaches with players because, coaches always call each individual player for meetings. Yeah. So you don't know what somebody is going to say there. There's somebody like, coach, Emmanuel said you are this, you are that. And then tomorrow you come to the field and then you are fired. Or your contract is terminated. Are you going to come back to Warri or Nigeria and tell people that because I gang up against a coach, that's why they fired me? Come on. It doesn't work like that now. So that's where we didn't use the power. But now it's different. And I know why it's different. In my days, you don't even read your contract. They just give you sign here, you sign. Yeah. That's but it was because people could shake hands and trust each other. In my father's days, they don't measure land to buy it. They pick a stone and throw and say, where that tree is, that's where your land is. And nobody's going to trespass with it. But today you have to you can measure a land, get the surveyor plan and everything, and somebody will still go and trespass.
Yes, sir.
Just down the road, one of my uncle that works for the UN bought a land, built it halfway, and went to Canada. Before he came back, Commonwealth sold it, and one Chief Justice built on top of the place. I mean, that's Chief Justice supposed to know the law. You understand? Now they are in court, back and forth. I'm just telling you how it was. Trust. All my days in Sharks, even when I was working in radio, I tell you, I had a 6-month contract I was running. Every 6 months was running. There was so much high level of trust. I know I read my contract, but I trusted the company, my chairman so much because my contract was coming from a stable. I trusted my chairman so much at the time that man could have given me a slave contract and I was signed. Yeah, it's trust. It's trust, yeah. There was no need to rebel. I've always said, when I was working in Brilla, I always tell people that I don't think I would leave Brilla and go and work in another radio station. It's not going to happen. It was never going to happen, So even when I came out and I started getting offers, I'm not. When my wife looked like, babe, you need to do something. This whole ELEGBETE TV thing, yeah, we know it's going to work for the future, but it's not going to bring money immediately. Do something that will bring money. I told her, the only thing that will bring me back to radio is sponsorship. If I get a sponsor, I'll do it. But to go tell one person, employ me, yes, sir, yes, boss, I wasn't in it. So maybe it was when I came to radio that I started using that power. I started using that power to answer the question. But when I was playing football, who give monkey? I was a teenager when I signed for Jackson. I was happy to play football. Happy.
Were you a teenager?
No, I was a teenager. There was no space to use football age. There was no. I didn't come from that kind of family. I wasn't raised that way. I wasn't raised that way at all. And then, to be very honest, almost everybody who played football in my generation used their real age. Yes. Let me give you a good example. Imam Bakabo was in the 1985 on the 17 team, right? Between 1985 and 2005, he was still playing football. So ask yourself, if he had cheated in his age, would he last that long? Do you know the distance between 1985 and 2005? You understand? You say, okay, this is a picture of the age that I claim. Then look at people like Jonathan Kobore, look at, a lot of those people. Maybe a few people cheated and that's why they didn't go far, like Philip Osondo. Nobody can convince me that Philip Osondo did cheat at this age. No disrespect to him, but let's call a spade a spade. But I think a lot of the people who played in the league, cheating started in football after Japan 93. Because it was after Japan 93 that football became glorious in Nigeria. It was after Japan 93, in 94, we now went to the World Cup for the very first time, and then we now went to the Olympics in 96. Between 93 and 96 was when the demon of hardcore cheating came in. You know, and we no longer have players who could move from under 21, under 17 to senior team. Finidi George moved from Nigerian League, went to Ayas and displaced, what's it called? Makovamas. Finidi George, Kanwako went from under 17. Even though he was a French player, he was always coming from the bench, but he was making impact. These days, our players will have to go to Vietnam, Armenia, Cyprus, play for 5 years and still be under 17 and still be under 20 before they will now come to Turkey, all those backwater leagues. They are struggling, like somebody who's trekking through Libya to Europe. You know, that wasn't the case then. You know, people walk straight from Nigerian league to top clubs in Europe. When you go, you're going to play first team. When I went to Sweden, I was supposed to go play for Bromby, but by the time, because of all this visa issue, by the time I got there, they said that registration was closed. And the guy who took me was so shocked. He didn't want me to go back. So that's how I went to play for Esbjerg. I played for Esbjerg as God will have it. I went into that team. I trained on Friday. I played match on Sunday. I trained with this team for the very first time. I got into Sweden on a Friday morning from Denmark. Got to the training ground in the evening, trained on Friday, one training, and on Sunday afternoon, a 2 o'clock game, I played a very good game, had 2 assists, we won the game, 3-1. You understand? So it's that good. But these days you hear that players leave the Nigerian league and they even play in top flight league, they go to Europe, they have to undergo some. It's a different thing. It's a different thing now compared to that era. I don't think that people cheat. I remember in 1991, Trinidad and Tobago, yes, on Trinidad and Tobago in 1991. No, in 2001, sorry. 2001, that team that had them, I'm going to go to the league. The cheating was so obvious. You know, I mean, it's what it is. There's nothing you can do about it.
Because I heard government say something sometime ago on radio that more than 99% of the academics.
Andrea Santos Linda, all the way from Brazil. How are you? Okay. Right.
I said I heard some radio from government academy that over 99% of our academies are filled with overage. Some of them are even as good as he is. And he's in his early 40s. Or when he said he was around late 40s.
Godwin over-exaggerated that there's no 50-year-old person in the academy. Godwin is 50. He's 51 or so. I'm 40 now. Godwin is not my age mate. Well, 10 years apart. He over-exaggerated that. First off, an academy, we don't have a structure. You know, when people say some things, I ask them, what's the basis for what you're saying? We argue this age thing too much in Nigeria. We say somebody's overage. Is it being overage that makes you lack ability? Does overage make you lack ability? Vardy is a late bloomer. Yeah. You understand? So you could call him an overage kind of player. He's a late bloomer. But within the short space that he's had, has he not impressed? Yeah. So it's not the overage. We put too much emphasis on age and we fail to focus on techniques and talents and ability. Yeah. At age, and you have the right ability, it's no problem. I think that what we have now is, one, poor basic coaching is also affecting us. When I went to Sharks, I left for it, went to Uniport for Sharks. First, I thought I was a good footballer. I thought I was great. Until Monday Sinclair made me understand that all these things you are doing is not football. I take the ball, you dribble, everybody, it's not football. He started giving me the basic. I've been training under different coaches since. Started the basic training, how to hit a shot, how to lean on the ball, how to put your balancing foot equal to the ball when you want to play free kick, how to bend the ball over the wall, how to loop it up over the wall and make it drop. You know, those things are things that coaches really, this is one that I really enjoyed. Our friend Andrea Santos Lydia, all the way from Brazil, wish you can, obrigado, wish you can, how do I say good morning, good afternoon? I was in Brazil 4 years ago. I should have known to the band. But okay, bon dia is morning. Bon noite, bon tarde. Okay, bon dia is good morning. Okay, so I get it now. Bon dia to my friend in Brazil, and to my friend Maxim Balokristis is left in Russia. If anything change and I get to Russia, I'll look out for you. Matthias Kopp, thank you also for joining us. Lufems Chingscom, thank you for joining us. Thank you very much, guys, for coming. I hope that on Tuesday, you guys are gonna be here Tuesday, Wednesday, and next Friday. Okay, we would continue the conversation and see how it goes. But it's been nice enjoying your company. I must say that you've got a whole lot of statistics, and you need to slow down on wanting to push all of them out. This is what happened to me when I first started. I wanted to push everything out at the same time, so I developed a pattern of talking very fun. Thank you so much for subscribing to ELEGBETE TV. Let's always do this, and let's do it again. Thank you so much. My name remains Adafi Matthew S. Bye-bye.